yeah, you're here basically because, I suppose, you want to hear about a project I'm on, which is called Lighthouse. Qt is a cross-platform framework. You can compile your source code on most platforms, but the internals of Qt is not cross-platform at all. So Project Lighthouse is an attempt to make Qt GUI, the GUI library, cross or window system agnostic, and make Qt basically run everywhere. Right, so a little about myself. My name is Jørgen Lin. I used to work in Trolltech support a few years ago. Then I decided I wanted to do some consultancy. So I did that for a while. And then I came back to Nokia to become a developer for Nokia. I'm a proud midfielder of Qt FC. We beat Opera Software earlier this year, so it was really good. I'm a road cycling enthusiast, and as any Norwegian, I love cross-country skiing. And I love like hiking while skiing. Not the day trips, but going for a couple of days. Right, so I'm going to try to first give my impression of state-of-the-art embedded Linux. Then move on to what is Lighthouse, because apparently there's some confusion out there. Then try to give a short introduction to the very basics of Lighthouse. And then maybe we'll see some Lighthouse in use. Right, so trends in the embedded world. X11 is unpopular. No one likes it. Even the X developers don't like it. Qt for embedded Linux is quite powerful, but it seems like it doesn't fit people's needs anymore. It did so 5 years ago, very much, but now, yeah. As always, everyone wants something which is fast. So a few years ago, the chip manufacturers started to enable their chips to give them OpenGL support. Right, so everyone said, hardware acceleration, great, my graphics is going to be fast. My view, that's not always true. But this hardware acceleration also has driven a need for new windowing systems. So there, and all the new mobile phones and so on. So you have the Android windowing system, you have the iOS windowing system, which is Quartz, more or less. You have Bada, OpenCode, Wayland, and so on and so on. So, how is Qt used in embedded Linux today? Who here is an embedded Linux developer? So how do you use it?
Mostly just to draw Git widgets, Git WebKit, and
But do you use it on a frame buffer, or do you how for what kind of device do you use it?
for an e-reader, so the frame buffer is actually more than sufficient because this thing couldn't do any 3D acceleration anyway.
All right, right. So I've divided into two, more or less. Or, yeah. It's the ones that need hardware acceleration, so they use Qt for X11, right? Off the shelf. It still cross-compiles if you know how to do it. And it works all right. It gives you, some people mean it gives you a certain overhead. Yeah. But what we've seen is that it's been difficult to create that tight integration with the hardware and the software stack you deploy Qt for X11 on. So we saw it for the N900, right? We made a port of Qt basically to work on that platform, but most of that code we didn't integrate back into our source tree. So, Qt for X, and then you have the other group, right? You had the people using X11 on an embedded device, and then you have the other group, as I see it, that use Qt for embedded Linux, right? It's quite powerful. You only need a frame buffer device. Actually, on some systems, you don't even need a frame buffer device. And it's been ported to other operating systems. So yesterday during the dinner, the VxWorks port was mentioned, and the QNX port was mentioned, and those both those are actually Qt for embedded Linux ported to those operating systems. Yeah. Right. So Qt for embedded Linux, it contains Qt windowing manager or Qt window system. And it's a complete window manager. We call it QWS. It requires raster. That's one of the assumptions that were made when that windowing system was made. Raster graphics, right? We memory map the frame buffer device, and we composite onto that piece of memory. And it works great when you do it that way. However, it's a complete windowing system, so when you need to port Qt for embedded Linux to a new platform which has a windowing system, you get a windowing system in a windowing system. It's a bit strange. It's a bit odd. However, Qt windowing system has seamless single process, multi-process support. That's really powerful. Most people actually don't know, or some people don't know, that there is multi-process support in Qt for embedded Linux. They always start their applications with -QWS anyway. What you do then is actually you start a server process. So 90%, rough number, but most people who here are using Qt for embedded Linux? Who here are using the multi-process support in Qt for embedded Linux? It's actually roughly half of you. We've seen that people that are using, or people that were using Qt for embedded Linux made like industrial embedded systems, for instance. And most of them didn't need the multi-process support. Anyway, so we ended up with having this windowing system integrated into the Qt for embedded Linux source code, right? And we thought, we can reuse a lot of our code here. It's really nice, right? So we can only have Q Windows Surface and not Q Windows Surface Server and Q Windows Surface Client. But then we ended up with an anti-pattern, right? We ended up with, if I'm the server, do this. If I'm not the server, or else, then do that. Right, so that's how I see the world outside Lighthouse, right? The embedded Qt world for Linux outside Lighthouse. So anyone here has an opinion about what Lighthouse is? You must have, since you're here. But maybe Espen, what's your opinion? What is Lighthouse for you?
For me, it's a cleaner way of making Qt portable.
This seems planned, but it's not. Right. Lighthouse, it's a window manager API. Paul and I, we're the main Lighthouse developers, and we happen to share an office as well. We often just describe Lighthouse as PAPI, plugin API. Lighthouse, the task of developing Lighthouse is actually removing Windows system code from Qt GUI, right? Make Qt GUI Windows system agnostic. So, in qwidget.cpp or many other places, you will find this pattern here, right? If defined and then QWS and then some platform, right? It's all over the bloody place. So we decided, yeah, let's add another one. Really good. But that's how we actually develop Lighthouse. We try to write all or a lot of the Q_VS X11 and Q_VS Mac, for instance, is duplicated code. There's a lot of stuff in Qt GUI, which is system-specific code, which is not really system-specific code. It's cross-platform. And then every now and again, we actually counter some or meet some code which is actually system-specific. And then we need to make an API for that system-specific code, right? So we can abstract it out, move it somewhere else. So, move it somewhere else. Lighthouse, in Lighthouse we create plugins. We create plugins which we load at runtime, which contains all the Windows system specific code. So these are the plugins that we've just happened to make on our way to create the next version of Qt GUI. So we ported the Linux FB functionality from QWS or from Qt for embedded Linux. It's slightly different. We removed the multi-process support. We said that's really not what we want to do. We really don't want to be making another windowing system again. This kind of code doesn't belong into Qt. And then we made a DirectFB backend. We made a backend to test all APIs called TestLight. Happens to be X11. It's very convenient to develop for a windowing system that you're actually sitting on, right? And then it was Donald in the back of the room. He sent me a Tegra board one day. So then it was Harald. He'd made a very rude implementation or crude implementation for OpenCode. So I just took that and made it work. But it's really easy. The thing is that making Lighthouse plugins are really easy, right? And then we did VNC. We did a full-screen EGL, and we did the cross-platform minimal plugin. But that's a windowing system. Yeah, that's true. But we didn't develop, you developed it. Okay. Details. All right. So does everyone have an idea of what Lighthouse is now? Yes? It's making Qt GUI Windows system agnostic, right? So, let's have a short introduction to how to make a plugin, right? Where do you start? So, obviously the text didn't really work well, but who has seen this class under a different name? A couple in the front here. The guy in the back, he made that other class, so he should know. Basically, when we started developing Lighthouse, we didn't scrap everything and like let's start from scratch. All other Qt sucks, and we're going to do it right. We extended from what we had, so we took this class called QGraphics and that's being used on the 3 main platforms: Qt for X11, Qt for Mac, Qt for Windows. Didn't really work on Qt for Embedded Linux, so yeah. But we took that and we built upon it. So, QPlatform integration. What is it? It's a factory class. It's being created, it's a singleton class. It belongs to Q application. It's being created on startup. How we create it is that we look in the plugins platform directory and we load all plugins and look for and create subclasses of QPlatform integration during runtime. It's the entry point for windowing system code. So I try to kind of give a Qt GUI view of what Qt GUI uses it for. So when it makes a pixmap, it goes to the platform integration and it says, hey, give me a backend for a pixmap. Give me your pixmap data. When you make a widget, you kind of it goes Qt GUI goes to the platform integration, says, okay, I need a window handle, so create a window for me. I really don't care what kind of window it is, but we have this API for it, so just create a window. And I actually need a surface as well. But QGL widget, it doesn't really need a surface, so just like, yeah, just give me a window handle. And by the way, I want to be the child of this other window. And QFont, well, we need to figure out the size of the font, right? Point sizes and so on. So we need to have the screen geometry, the physical size of the display we're displaying on. So we use then these 4 classes here. You can see that 2 of them have prefixes, which is QPlatform, and 2 of them are not prefixed with this. This is because QPixmap data, that's the class that was introduced in Qt 4.3, I think. QWindow Surface has been with us the entire time, I believe. So these are just classes we're reusing in Qt Lighthouse. But then the platform window, we ended up having a really, really long, weird discussion about platform window versus window surface. Is it 1 class? Is it 2 classes? Blah, blah, blah. Because, yeah. And the platform screen, that's the one which is, the representative of the display. So, pixmap data. The pixmap data returns the paint engine you would use to render onto that pixmap, right? In Qt, we can use QPainter API to render into pixmaps. Obviously controls the data. Well, the good news here is that we rarely make our own pixmap data. They come stocked with Qt GUI. So we have QRaster pixmap data. It basically is a representation of, it's a pixmap data for images, right? QImage. QGL pixmap data, it uses a frame buffer object. And then we have QBlittable pixmap data. which is it's a hybrid raster container. If you're very interested in the Blitter API or blittable surfaces, then come and see me later. Right, so that's we got QPixmap basically covered there. Are there any questions, by the way? No, okay. If you have any questions, then please, if you want to start a discussion, then please do so. Then we might get even more out of this. Oh, and the font size is obviously screwed up. Okay, so QWindow Surface describes the content, decides the paint engine as with the QPixmap data. Its purpose is push pixels to screen. There is a pre-made one, which is QGL window surface, which you can use if you have only GL for your system. So basically, I use it on the OpenCode plugin, for instance. But the good news is, it's easy to make your own. This is the implementation from our minimal plugin. And this is the entire, this is more or less the entire plugin, right? So we create an image for our window surface. And then when we, when Qt GUI asks for the window surface of a widget, it returns the image. And it's being rendered, everything is being rendered into this image. Then on flush, we say, okay, this is the point where you're supposed to push pixels to screen. In this case, we just push it to disk. We want to be cross-platform. In this plugin, we want to be cross-platform. So we basically don't know anything about any windowing system. This is, and when you resize, you need to create a new image and so on. So back to platform window. Its job is basically to describe the geometry of the window. It's a fairly easy job. Normally, it's most implementations just grab a window handle and call some functions on that window handle. It's a very thin layer. If you don't have a window handle, if your system doesn't have windows, then actually Lighthouse doesn't really care. It will work without it. However, we decided some time ago that okay, we need to fix the GL integration in Lighthouse. This is why people are actually interested in this, right? It's supposed to be easy to do GL or GL enabling your platform. So then we sat down and we said, okay, we're not going to support pixel buffers. We're not going to support making context on EGL images. So we're basically just going to support making GL context for on-screen surfaces. Now, most implementations do this by giving the window handle to EGL create context or GLX create context or what's the OS 10 called again? Yes, and the same on Windows as well. So this kind of says that we're GL enabling Qt GUI, and that's right. We're not going to move Qt OpenGL into Qt GUI, but there's this very thin context layer or wrapper inside Qt GUI now. It's kind of important to say here then that even though we have this thin layer of GL or GL enabling or context handling inside Qt GUI, it's not a prerequisite that your platform supports GL. This is something we strive after all the time. If your platform doesn't support anything, then that should be okay. You should, if you don't support it, the behavior should be slightly undefined, but it shouldn't break your entire system. It should be possible to still push pixels to screen, right? So if you only support having one GL context, then that should be possible. If you don't have a GL-enabled system, then that should be possible. But if you have a full-featured X11 backend, then that should also be possible. And that should also, you should support the more advanced features of these advanced windowing systems. Right, and then the last class we had a look at was the QPlatformScreen. As I said, it's just trying to represent the physical size of the display. But we also noticed that it's a great class to manage your singleton objects which are screen dependent. So for instance, EGL-FS, where we create a full screen EGL surface, that just uses a static, or that initializes a static context in the screen. And then when we try to make new GL context, we'll just return that. And that'll be used. Right, so let's try and have a demo. Now, when I was going to make this presentation, I was like, there's nothing flashy about Lighthouse, right? But it's a window system API. There's nothing cool I can show. But then we kind of, then I took a step back and I was like, well, I can show stuff which is made, or which became possible in an afternoon, right? It just took, we did certain things along the way which enabled us to have quite powerful things. So, for instance, this entire presentation, right, you've been seeing me clicking on both buttons. It's because the presentation runs on QML on my Tegra board. But I can also do other things with the Tegra board. And the Tegra board runs OpenCode. And OpenCode has really cool, fancy detection of displays. So when I fired it up, it actually did 1080. And then I had to change it around, obviously. Because, yeah. But, have you seen Samuel's Wolfen Qt? Yeah? He made it some time ago, right? It just works. It's really cool. I was just enabling GL in OpenCode. It took me 10 minutes and then it just works, right? Things just work. It's really cool. I was speaking to Christian Høiberg, I think he's called. He's the guy that is making Wayland. Last week he made a Lighthouse plugin, right? He didn't know Qt, and he made a Lighthouse plugin. So now it's in a public repository, a Lighthouse plugin for Wayland. So I don't know, GTK doesn't support Wayland. So and yes. Now I'm going to do something slightly dodgy. So, just to prove that, oh, that came out bad. That's impossible to see, right? Capture. Is it Control Plus? That's the wrong button. I wanted to show you, basically, I wanted to show you the possibility of having one Qt GUI, which has one API basically, but you can choose what windowing system to run it on. So you can run it on DirectFB if you want to, or you can run it on X11 if you want to, or you could run it with let's see. Okay. It's too. Is it possible to read that in back, Gunnar? No. All right. Working on it. I should have done this before, obviously. Appearance. Here we go. That one? Nice. Ah. The settings. Edit. Edit current profile.
You have to click apply on the bottom, it's just not visible.
Yeah, I know. And then it has this stupid minimum size hint. Oh, that's true, that's true. Thank you. Right. So. Oh. And if you're wondering, if you read labs, you will see that Paul made a merge request for Lighthouse to be merged back into Qt. What that means is that Lighthouse is going to be part of the next version of Qt, so 4.8 basically, which is great. Right, so you see here, right? There's nothing. There's libqt core, there's pthread, and there's some compressions down in C++, blah, blah, blah. Let's fire up Wiggly. Okay, so let's start with X11. Test light. Exciting. Obviously, it's running in some other part of the screen. Cancel. There we go. Lovely. VirtualBox, play with me now. What? No, but that's a different one. Did anyone see where it what happened? Show. Oh my god, it crashed. Okay, anyway. So back to the good old lovely OS 10. So when I went here, I brought my Mac, and I don't do development on it, because well, basically my girlfriend uses it at home, but I needed a PC here, right? So I brought it, but then so I had to set up some development environment, and then I was like, okay, so let's see if Lighthouse works on OS X. I'll go in. So what I started with was minimal. Demos. Sorry, guys. dy ld library path equals pwd. Right. Open. There. So that worked straight out of the box. What I did was I did --configure on OS 10, and when I ran the application, I got that. This was last week, I think it was. And then I was slightly busy, and we had some other things to do. But then during the weekend, I was sitting at home, and I made that. That's a Cocoa port of Qt. Some other guys in Qt software, they spent 2 years doing that. That's really cool. Yeah, so basically, if we can get back. No, the presentation crashed, didn't it? All right. Pardon? Yeah, but it doesn't show another down here. It used to show another icon showing the actual virtual image running. Okay. Start. And then it boots up. Okay. But basically, what I want to say now is Lighthouse is surprisingly popular, right? A lot of people are excited about it. What we're basically saying in or Paul and I, when we sit in the office, what we're basically saying is that we're making Qt 5. We don't have an ABI, right? So we're kind of pretty free to do pretty much whatever we want to do. It's a new port of Qt. So we're trying to future-proof ourselves for any other windowing system that comes along. My goal is to make a Windows port, and when I've done that, I'm pretty much satisfied with that. The API of Lighthouse will be future-proof. However, if you wonder about Lighthouse, there's a channel of Freenode It's called Qt-Lighthouse. That's where I spoke to Christian about Wayland. That's where there's a couple of other platforms being made there as well. It's we're kind of making a thriving community. We kind of want to enable everyone to do their port of Qt to their platform, and I think we're on a good way. Thank you. Are there any questions now? Yes. Oh, wait for the microphone. Apparently.
Wait for the mic.
Hello.
Hi.
Is it possible to use multiple plugins for having different output devices? If you have, for example, an output device which supports OpenGL and you have a second output device which does not support OpenGL and has a slightly different hardware, for example, and you need two different plugins for it, and you want to access both of the displays, can you have multiple
So you want
plugins
to
at
load
once?
multiple plugins, multiple backends in the same process?
Yes.
That's going to be it's going to be slightly tricky. We've been thinking about it. It needs work, definitely. For instance, the font handling will make problems for you, but it's not impossible. I'll welcome your patch, basically.
Can you tell us some information about the open source project which was started by Bogdan regarding the Android porting?
I've only written a couple of emails with him. I've checked out what is he here? There you are, right. Maybe you can answer that question then. I suppose. You want to hear about
what was the question?
A project I'm on, which is called Lighthouse.
For Nokia, he will answer. And yes, I'll work further. Next month, I'll start Qt Mobility port for this project. Now it's in a good shape. Everything now it seems to work, including QML, OpenGL. I have some problems with OpenGL, and I have a merge request from someone else about virtual keyboard, and I think for Qt 4.8 we will be ready. We ask them for a merge request.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Okay.
No more questions? Yes.
You have to wait.
Yes, so you know, we spent 1.5 years on the Windows Mobile port, and we spent 2 years on the Symbian port.
Yeah.
And you write a Mac port in a weekend. What are the basic requirements you need to use Lighthouse? Like, it's, you know, to just get Qt GUI, there's a lot of things happening before that. You need to get Qt Core up and running. So what's the basic requirements for compiler and also the operating system? At the moment you say embedded Linux, but you know, if you want to make a Windows port to it, you really, yeah. And the second question is basically, now that Lighthouse is done, should one take all the existing ports of Qt and do them in Lighthouse instead? So first, basic requirements, basically.
Okay, basic requirements. It's the same as it was for Qt for embedded Linux. They're pretty minimal. Actually, I remember during Ubuntu Developer Summit, Thiago said that we can build Qt without having the standard C++ library as well. You need on POSIX, you need p-threads. You need the minimal basic POSIX environment. On Windows, this is the exciting thing coming up, right? What are we going to do on Windows? How am I gonna figure out the requirements there? Ideally, Qt Core should work for Windows or Win32, for Win CE, and for Windows Mobile 7, right? Because I imagine that API would be pretty much the same thing. And then you get into the windowing system specific parts, which tend to be the things that are different, right? You did the CE port. You remember that's probably where you spent most of your time.
Yeah.
So yes, that's the requirements. What was the second question?
The existing ports of Qt.
Yes. Okay. So the existing ports of Qt, that would be really, really cool, right? That would be really, really cool. There is, however, a slightly different feature set in Lighthouse. We don't support the all native child widgets code path. On X11, in certain circumstances, all controls are native child widgets, right? They have all their native window IDs. It's really slow. If you get into that code path, your application is going to be sluggy even on good hardware. That's not completely true, but we decided quite early we don't want to support that feature set. That kind of complicates everything quite a lot. So the normal Lighthouse application wants one surface, one window handle, draw all widgets into that one surface and get that surface onto screen. There are certain situations where you have support for one native child widget, right? You have support for one layer on top of it, saying there you can place a QGL widget, for instance. That's the typical native child widget, because it needs its own window for the context. So some fancy CAD applications or some applications will not run straight out of the box on Lighthouse. But yes, that's a So we can't make Qt Lighthouse fit the API of Qt for X11 and swap them out. That can't happen for in Qt 4. Maybe in Qt 5.
By the way, we are some people wanting to meet Bogdan today. 3 o'clock in the lobby, if possible. No. But anyway, if anybody's interested in talking about iPhone and Android port, lobby at 3 o'clock. That's basically it.
All right. Are there more questions?
Does Lighthouse handle, or how does Lighthouse handle stuff that is accelerated on certain platforms, like, for example, the X-Render extension on X11?
There in Qt GUI, there in the source tree, there is a Qt X11 paint engine, which I suppose is the one which gives you X-Render acceleration. We don't use that. It has its amount of problems that we don't want to bring with us, basically. On the X11 test light plugin, we create a MICHM image, shared memory image, which we use raster to paint into, and then we send it off to the X server, and yeah, in the flush, and then we sync. We kind of have to sync there. Yes, did that answer your question? Yeah.
How is the EGL full screen working, or what are the Windows surfaces that you're rendering onto in that case?
So for in those situations, you if you want to run EGL on a Linux system without a windowing system, you normally just send in a null pointer for the surface, and it will take the entire screen.
So you support like one full screen window?
Yes, yes. And yeah. I also kind of wanted to talk about input functionality, but that is probably, if you get that far, then just look in the other plugins. It's very obvious how to do input functionality if you look in the other plugins. What I want to say about it though is that the callback functions we have defined a lot of static functions in a class called QWindow System Interface. All those functions are thread safe, so ideally you want to be doing input event handling in a different thread. Now that's not always possible, so we have also an event loop integration there, which allows you to, with implementing a couple of function calls, you can drive the event loop yourself and do the input event handling there instead. But this is all getting into very much detail. Yeah. But if you have any problems whatsoever, come to Freenode Qt Lighthouse channel. I'm there pretty much every day, answering almost any questions you might have. So, yeah, we are very excited about creating a community for this, and the entire plugin architecture of Lighthouse makes enables or makes the contribution model work even better. It's easier to contribute to Qt or to modify Qt to fit your needs now.
How does input work through this system? Is there a plugin point where you can say this is how you get the input events from this platform, or is that still platform specific throughout Qt?
No, so that's why I mentioned there's a class called QWindow System Interface that has functions like handle mouse button press, handle multi-touch events, handle yes, all sorts. If the Windows system decides to resize your window, that's where you would find the geometry changed for window and so on, right? Yeah.
Okay, I know you run another project. It's about a new build system for Qt. What about it? It's very difficult to, okay, for Android it was easy to port Qt, but for other platforms it will be very difficult on the current
Who told
system.
you that?
It's on your roadmap.
It's on my roadmap.
No, it's on.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Okay, yeah, okay. Now I see what you mean. Okay, so yeah, there's a couple of projects there. Inside Qt, there's we kind of recognize the need for a new build system, but it's quite strange because I started thinking about this a couple of weeks ago as well. Because Lighthouse kind of changes how you want to configure Qt itself, how you want to find dependencies and so on and so on. So, and it kind of sucks. That's really difficult to build or to make platform plugins outside the Qt source tree. If you want to have just your own project, which is a Lighthouse plugin, then that's difficult. Paul and I, we managed it with some dirty hacks, but we can't expect anyone else to be able to do that. So we have some slight new requirements, but that's it. I have some ideas where we kind of want to go back to Oslo and talk to this other guy, which is in Oslo just this week, and talk about build systems. So there's things happening, but exactly when and how, I'm not sure. No. Yes. I can also say that we're also playing with the idea of not having one Qt GUI. We're kind of playing with the idea, right? Because a lot of you, I presume, would end up using QML because it is really kick-ass, right? And why, when you deploy on your systems, why should Qt be that big then, right? You don't need the widgets; they're in the way. You can have scene graph, and you can have QML, and off you go, right? So we're kind of playing with the idea of making some new structure there as well. That's why I said we don't have an ABI, right? We're pretty much free to do whatever we want there.
So I don't mean to actually take the discussion off topic, but I wanted to nitpick on the build system. So I know you can't actually tell us anything about that, but do you have plans of reusing something existent or creating a different build system for Qt? Because I still think that QMake was some kind of mistake in the beginning, as it was a completely new build system, and actually, it kind of reinvented AutoTools, but with a less rich syntax.
What's the alternative?
CMake. I'm a developer,
Well, have you looked at the syntax?
I know, but if you look at the other syntaxes in the build system,
what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, all build system sucks. I mean, that's a prerequisite for a build system to suck.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know where we're gonna go. First of all, we need to fix configure. Yes. I don't think we're ready for CMake.
I suppose so. But please try not to reinvent the wheel and create a new build system.
yeah. No. We're not going to try that. But we need. If you look in the source tree, you will see we have two configure scripts now, right?
Yeah.
We have the shell one and we have the the Windows one, right? And every time we change. This is completely insane, right? Every time we change the Windows configure script, we need to regenerate the executable and upload that to Git as well. So every time we actually change the configure script, the Git repository just increases by a lot, right? It's yeah, and it's a really hassle because I'm doing the same thing twice just feels really wrong.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Python? Why not Python? Why not Python? Yeah. Yeah. You don't like Python? No. I guess there's as many other opinions on that as we are here. So, all right. Please come and see me. I'm here free for any obligations. So please come and see me, and if you have questions later on, then come on to Qt-Lighthouse on Freenode. We're there as well. Cool. Thank you.